Welcome to Flipped Classroom. Today's lesson is going to provide a tutorial on writing the first part of the claim of policy essay. Let's start with where to begin. The first part of your essay should be introducing the problem. In looking at the whole structure of the essay, the problem is the first main section of your essay after the introduction paragraph. Before writing the problem for your essay, you should write a thesis statement. This allows your readers to know the direction you are going with your essay. Here is a list of example thesis statements. Let's return to the outline. In the section about the problem, you are presenting research-based evidence that explains who does the problem affect? What is the problem? When did the problem occur? Where did it occur? Is it a regional problem? Is it a problem that affects everyone throughout the United States? When did the problem occur? When did the problem begin? Has it been a problem that's affected the United States since the time of the American Revolution? Is it a contemporary problem? Did it start in the 1950s? Did it start in the 21st century? Who is it affecting? Is it affecting everybody, a minority group, a specific group? You might not need to answer all 5 of the who, what, when, where, why, how questions, but you would use research to answer these questions. In the second step of the problem, what steps, if any, have been taken to resolve the problem? Again, your answer might be no steps have been taken to resolve the problem, or there's been some laws passed and the laws have been ineffective, or there's been education on the issue, but some people have the same mindset. You would discover this answer through your research. Let's take a look at a specific example. In this sample essay, the student has left blank lines for the hook or catchy opening and background on the topic. In an introduction paragraph, you would not have any research, so I wouldn't expect to see any quotes, any facts, any statistics, just common knowledge. And then the student begins with the thesis statement. The United States government needs to begin a progression towards providing universal health care for all to support the tens of millions of Americans who go without health care due to the lack of access, especially those minorities who are affected the most. Your thesis statement should have a word such as should, must, or needs. That is how the reader knows you are going to be presenting a claim of policy. After the thesis statement, the student begins describing the problem. In the topic sentence, the student makes it very clear what the problem is. One of the biggest healthcare problems facing people in the United States is lack of access to medical personnel and/or the inability to pay for healthcare insurance. Right off the bat, we know as readers that I'm expecting to see evidence that people in the United States do not have access to medical personnel, doctors, nurses, health practitioners, and they do not have the money to pay for it. The writer goes on to say, there are many reasons people are not able to get healthcare insurance, including lack of financial ability, lack of employer assistance, or a lack of how to go about getting health care due to a very complicated system. Notice this sentence. It's all common knowledge. It doesn't need to be cited the source. Now the student brings in the research. In the article, Can We Have Universal Health Care? Roger Bybee details the Obama plan for the Affordable Care Act. At the time the article was published, it was 2009, just the beginning of the last recession. Since then, many things have changed. However, at the time, Bybee states, quote, some 47 million Americans were already lacking health insurance before the economic meltdown. The student has the author's name and the page number. The author's name is not in the citation because it's already listed in the lead-in. That means I can very easily go to the works cited page and find Bybee. Let's look. There we go. Bybee. There's the citation for Bybee and the page numbers. Let's go back. The student goes on to continue to give evidence of the lack of medical personnel and the ability to pay for health insurance. The student goes on to and ends the paragraph with a strong conclusion sentence. Without insurance, people do not go to the doctor, and an illness that may have been prevented ends up getting caught in later stages. When you have your paragraphs, have a conclusion sentence that links together all the evidence in the paragraph and connects it back to the thesis statement. I will let you pause the video now to look at how she creates her second paragraph describing the problem, that access to healthcare is important for early detection of life-threatening diseases, and how she integrates evidence. You're welcome to pause the video. Now I'll return to the PowerPoint. In this section, you are persuading the audience that a problem exists. You could be using pathos, personal stories. This is a great place to include your connection to how to be an anti-racist because the author details his experience with this issue. Logos, statistics and facts. Ethos, expert testimony. So as you move forward with writing section 1, focus on what is the problem and have research-based evidence from database articles and books to persuade the readers that a problem exists. Your next step will be the solution to the problem. Thank you for joining me today in Flip Classroom.